Well, here we are. This was the deck I played last night. It's a little bit different than what I did previously, but yeah, it's going to be a little bit different as we go moving forward because, oh, not Popsicle. Popsicle's fine. A huge announcement from Ravensburger is that Fortisphere and, as soon as I get to it, our friend Hiram Flavorsham have been banned from competitive play. And I'm kind of still processing this. I mean, I come from a Magic background. I played Splinter Twin. I know what bans are like. It's not like I didn't see it coming. It is always upsetting for some people, but I am probably one of the few people. I'm sure there's plenty of people who are excited. I am fine with this. I own foil copies of these, foil copies of blue cards, and all sorts of things. I'm fine with this. I am fine with this. It sucks. It always sucks to lose value. It always sucks to have your toys taken away from you, especially from a toy maker. But this really needed to happen. We'll talk about Fortisphere in a minute, but Flavorsham does too much for too little. This draws so many cards. I didn't get to play it much, but whenever I did, it just felt stupid. And this is coming from someone who plays Amethyst all the time and draws a ton of cards from there. This draws so many more cards all the time. The idea of having one in play and then playing an item, draw a card, popping him to draw two more, it's just insane. It is way too insane. And with Ruby Sapphire just taking over everything recently, there's really no counter to that deck. And it's not just that they have all the answers. It's not just that they have great removal. It's that they are always drawing everything. Yeah, they have their popsicles and it's still around, but it's their draw engine is what keeps them full of cards. We'll cut right here. And I don't know what this means for the future. It means I definitely am not going to be playing this again, which I played last night, and I don't even know if I'm going to put the videos up now. But I'm hopefully going to try to play again tomorrow night and record those. But the good news is, I mean, some stuff's probably going to get a lot better, like our friend Steel Song over here. I'm not sure what this version looks like, but I would love to be able to play Steel Song again, which I haven't played in a while, especially since I got my DLC Rapunzel's. I do need a fourth one, but working on that. Or my other favorite deck, which I've enjoyed recently, which is Green Purple with our little bird friend, which we haven't seen in a while. There he is, our little bird friend, which is doing probably going to be fantastic right now. Man, and looking at the way things are and the price changes and things going on, people are already reacting or perhaps knew ahead of time and are predicting what would be. But yeah, this is some crazy times, and it's weird for me to go off script. Usually when I produce a video like this, I have a nice little script that I'm reading from, but this is just kind of free thoughts off the top of my head because I don't really know what else to do. I know for me personally, I didn't play a lot of blue. And when I did play blue, you saw it. It was not very good, and I was not very good with it. And so me personally, even though I have invested in a bunch of foil blue cards, I'm not going to be hurt too bad by him being gone or Fortisphere. But I know a lot of people, especially in our local San Diego group, play a lot of blue. Some are really heartbroken, especially those who just spent a bunch of money getting foils. A lot of our more dedicated blue-red players are not that worried. They still think the deck is a super strong core with a ton of good removal. Super strong deck with a ton of good removal, huge threats. Coil just makes all of their stuff and remove everything. Tons of ramp. They're still going to have card draw in How Far I'll Go, Grammatala. They have plenty of options of things to do well. What sucks though is that the Sapphire Steel is pretty much pretty much going to be dead unless you're playing the dedicated aggro version, which I sort of was. I was playing Harlan's list, which was modified a little bit. I only had 3 Cogsworths. So one of my Cogsworths was actually a Baymax, which is interesting because in the video, if I do end up putting it out, that Baymax actually won me the game. But again, just kind of a rambly video. I wanted to make something to celebrate my 2,000 subscribers. Woo, hooray, woo. And I got a ban, which is interesting because the ban actually kind of helps me because it makes Amethyst decks better, and it makes Diablo decks better, and it makes Steel Song better, and it makes other decks that I enjoy playing better. So I don't quite know how to feel because a lot of people are going to be upset for losing a lot of value or losing their favorite deck, which I absolutely understand, having lost Splinter Twin and some other interesting fun things during my time playing Magic. But for me personally, I am kind of okay with it. I'm looking forward to the opportunity to brew, or at least take people's lists and tweak them a little bit, because I play so many lists. It's really hard to kind of spend the time and dedicate to each individual one, outside of Purple Steel, which I play the most of, which I might be playing tomorrow night, is just more Purple Steel, just because that's my comfort zone. That's my soul food. But yeah, I wanted to make something to celebrate 2,000 subscribers, and I can't really do much else right now because I don't have access to my computer. So we're just kind of filming something right here, and I am at a loss for words. This is the so far first and only ban that Lorcana has ever had, and it's, again, something that I became used to in Magic, especially in Modern, where the ban list was kind of all right, what's going to be banned next? What's going to be banned next? And I was definitely not expecting this. I remember back when there were rumors that Hiram was going to get an errata so that he would only draw 1 card instead of 2. And I remember that caused Judy Hopps. People kept buying Judy Hopps. I think someone bought like 80 copies or something as a replacement, which, who knows, maybe people will use Judy Hopps. But yeah, I'm at a loss for words. This is the first time I've seen something banned. They didn't even ban Bucky. They didn't ban Bucky. They errated Bucky. I mean, they basically banned him. They made him horrifically unplayable in every possible way. They did multiple changes that any one of them would have probably nerfed the deck enough to make it much worse. But no, they effectively banned Bucky. Whereas here, the fact that they are completely outright banning them, it's probably just easier to do that than it is to... I don't know. Keep an errata list of all the cards. That's one of the drawbacks of having a paper game versus a digital game, is when you errata a bunch of cards, it just makes things really, really sloppy. And if it's just 1 card, not that big a deal. But if you're starting to add more and more and more cards, it just gets sloppy, and it's probably easiest to just outright ban it. And man, for as much time as I've sat across from Hiram and just been frustrated by drawing 3 cards a turn, it is... Again, I'm sorry for all of those who are really, really upset by this, but it is a breath of fresh air to see this gone. I'm interested in really diving into the justification for why Fortisphere was also banned. I believe Ravensburger put up a whole article, which I will probably put up on screen right now, that talks about a lot more of the specifics and a lot more of the justifications for why each of these are done the way that they have done. But for me personally, it does kind of suck because I literally just started putting together. I've never played blue at all in the entirety of me playing this game for a year and a half now. I finally jump in. I get a bunch of foils, including crabs, which are somewhere in here, which are going to crater in value. But, it is what it is. That's the price I pay. And again, I am fine with that. I am totally okay with that, because it is a betterment for the game to have these gone so that this is not an oppressive force on the game itself. And like I said, as somebody who came from Magic and who spent a lot of time under a lot of very oppressive decks, things like Hogak, things like Eldrazi, it's just been... I've never seen something like that in Lorcana yet, and I don't know if... I mean, it really was that bad. The only inhibiting factor for blue-red and maybe a little bit blue-steel, but mostly blue-red, is that it is a difficult deck to play and it's expensive to build. But those who play it well and know the lines, not me, but people who know the deck and know the lines, are more or less unbeatable unless they have horrible draws or their opponents draw phenomenally. Those who put in the work to learn the lines, learn the heuristics of what choices you're supposed to be making win. Ruby Sapphire is unbeatable, I think, and it's shown in recent results that it is. There is nothing that is better than Ruby Sapphire, and a lot of that core has to do with the fact that it has all the removal, it has all of the threats, and most importantly, it has a draw engine that outpaces every other draw engine, including Diablo, including Steel Song with their wheel, and including Amethyst with all of their cards that draw cards. I again have processed this for a little bit, but this is still very, very fresh. It is currently about 10:30, and this news dropped about half an hour ago. So I'm just processing this just like everybody else, and I will probably put this out shortly. I'm sorry that I can't do a lot of fancy editing, but I don't have access to my computer right now. I did happen to have my cards handy, but I don't have my way to edit things. So you get to hear me rambling off script, which is very uncomfortable for me. But it is what it is, and I just wanted to share my thoughts on this and celebrate. Woo! Celebrate 2,000 subscribers. Hooray! Yeah. Wow. What is even happening? I think this is better for the health of the long-term health of the game. It shows Ravensburger's a willingness to address player concerns directly and take aggressive action when it is needed, even if it does hurt some people. It is for the greater good of the game. And again, I am sorry, Sapphire players. This was a phenomenally broken card. I'm not going to lose too much sleep over it being gone. And what I am really sad about is losing the Fortispheres, because it completely kills blue steel, any sort of item variance of it. But there are versions that don't play it, but that means Bell is less good, because if you have only 4 items to really pop her off instead of 8, but no, 8's maybe too much. I don't know. Like I said, I'm just rambling at this point, and I just wanted to get my thoughts out. I wanted to get this out and celebrate, because I want to be celebrating, because I've got my where is it? My foxes and my goats and my genies and all those things are playable again. And I'm happy for that. But I'm also saddened that a lot of people lost their deck, but it is for the better. It is for the better of the format, and is for the better of the game. And my hat's off to Ravensburger for making the difficult decision and pulling that trigger and being decisive about it, instead of letting it sit and simmer and destroy the format and drive people away. Like honestly, a lot of time that I spent playing Magic during Modern, a lot of decks stayed around a lot longer than they should have, and it drove people away, and it made people not want to play. And I think with Hiram being gone, a lot of those long, grindy, miserable matches, they'll be less often. And they'll be less consistent because they're not drawing as much, or they're just going to be playing a different deck that hopefully interacts differently and allows people to play the game more consistently between each other. And I don't know what else to say other than hooray, 2,000 subscribers, woo! And bye, Hiram. I won't miss you. I'm sorry. These foils are just going to sit in a box until maybe one day some sort of eternal format pops up and he'll be legal again. I'm not selling them. I'm not selling anything. I'm just hanging on to them in case maybe I get to play them again, or I get to remember that 2 weeks that I played blue. But yeah, have a wonderful ban announcement day. I'll have a wonderful 2,000 subscriber day, and y'all keep questing, keep winning, and have a good one.